Hi everyone, welcome back. That was a short break this time. And I'm really excited to be here with LightArt, the highly innovative Seattle-based company. And we're happy to have Ryan Smith, President and Creative Director, join us directly from Seattle. Hi Ryan, how are you?
Hello, thank you for having us. This is such a wonderful format. I'm really excited about it.
Thank you so much. We're so excited to have you. I've always been a big fan of your work. So just as a little background, from the humble beginnings of their home kitchen to now the 35,000 square foot space in Seattle's Georgetown neighborhood, Ryan Smith and Anna Holder began building LightArt just 10 years ago in 2010. With their experience and background in architecture, they use resin to create large-scale, one-of-a-kind, beautiful light fixtures. LightArt is now excited to premiere the latest editions of their spring 2020 launch, the Coil collection. After over 2 years of painstaking internal research and development, LightArt is sharing these distinct matte fixtures to the world and to you today. Unexpected from a fixture produced through additive manufacturing, the Coil collection looks and feels like pottery, spun and handcrafted. I know you have a tour in store for us, and we're ready. Let's take a look.
Great. LightArt is located in Georgetown, just south of downtown. We have some great neighbors in this industrial area. One does coffee called Fulcrum, another one is a brewery called Two Beers. Hello, welcome to LightArt. Ryan Smith, I'm the creative director here. We're going to give you a little tour of some new products I'm working on right now. Come on in. So inside our Seattle facility, we have a lot of really interesting things here. We have our marketing and design teams, R&D teams, as well as a mock-up facility where we can build things full scale, as well as do all of our testing of the new products. And so we'll show you some of that next. And so we'll take you through the front office. You'll get to see some of the work in action today. We also have quite a few things around that we've built and tested in our space. So here we have all of our inside team, and you are starting the project with us from the first phone call all the way to the last shipment. And into our R&D area, we are always working on new projects, working out the ideas with computer first, and then going right into our facility to do live mock-ups after that. All right, so we'll take you back to our mock-up facility, and I think we've got some things printing right now with the Coil project. So back here, we're always building something by hand. This is where we do all of our sculpted work, so you do quite often see big projects underway. So we built all of the hand-done artisan work here, and so the sculpted pieces, large-scale pieces are all done here in our Seattle studio, and all of our regular production pieces are done in our Salt Lake City facility. It's looking good, Nick. So back here we can also we've got a lot of machinery where we can cut and drill and test different things. Our CNC, we've got a little laser cutter and shipping, so kind of a little bit of everything here. We're going to take you back into our area here where we're introducing our new product called Coil. It's made from upcycled waste. So right through here, we have our area where we're just setting up for printing the new product line that we're doing out of our recycled content. Okay, great. Well, we're going to take you through our cooking show here. What's fun about this, we're going to give you a little bit of a background as to what goes into this process. And I'm going to take you through the material side of it, because really the material is the most interesting part of what we're doing. And as I mentioned earlier, these products, these light fixtures, are made out of a recycled content. And so what we do is we take our old flat material sheets, whether they were scraps or in case just discarded sheets, it gets ground up and it gets chipped into these little shapes. So this is sort of full of a bunch of different colors. And what's interesting about it is once we get to that form factor, we can actually what's called color sort it. And so we could spit out the colors, whether they're just actual color or just all the kind of dirty color versus a clear. And so here you can see the clear sort. And so we're able to take now this material, once we've color sorted it, and do something with it. Now, if you don't color sort it, and you re-extrude it, you get this kind of off, I don't know, grayish color, and it tends to look a little bit like this. We thought we could actually just use it, as is, but the color is just a little bit uninteresting, unfortunately. So, however, if we sort the color, we can do a lot of different things with it. We can actually go back to clear, which is very, very cool. Or in this case, we have purposely chosen a black and white for the first round of these products. And so this is a really nice kind of matte finish. What's really nice about that matte finish is it gives you a final product that looks a little bit like pottery. So this is one of our design goals. And here you can see the black and white in a final printed form. And they both have this kind of wonderful, very soft kind of earthen quality to it. And this was a real design goal for us. So we're pretty excited by that final look. So we wanted to show you the Cad file. So this is actually a grasshopper algorithm. What would you call that?
Yeah, definition, algorithm, sketch.
And so we're doing a lot of programming very specifically to create these shapes, and we're controlling the texture and sort of fine tuning the layer heights and things like that. But it's a pretty fun way to see computerized manufacturing in execution, where you can just design something and have it literally made without doing any other steps in between. We have also been playing around with some color. So here we went to a bit of an off-white. Here, I'll hold that up against the white. Seeing what that looks like, as well as a gray. And this was just the black running out. But you can see sort of the quality of the gray, which is quite beautiful as well. So we're very interested in just controlling the material, controlling the color, and really getting to this end result that has this kind of handmade quality about it, much like, again, you would sort of get in a pottery piece. And that's what's so fascinating about this material. We went from more or less something that maybe didn't have a lot of value anymore to something that has a lot of value. So this is a pretty wonderful story, and I think this is a real future path for us for a lot of the things that we can do. And we are talking specifically about our Align initiative, which is something that we started to introduce as a company-wide sustainability initiative to sort of point all of the things that we're doing, whether it's recycled content or some of our sustainability labels that qualify for LEED or Red List Free, things like that. We're really seeing how far we can go with specific product lines or product lines we're already making to achieve these types of goals. What our hope is to continue to learn from this material and try to figure out whether it's a color story or a scale story, but just to learn how we can make this material continue to look better than the original form. So more to come on that, and we'll be talking to you soon. Thank you.
That was so great. I love getting these glimpses into how the entire process happens. So thank you for that. Ryan, let's dive into the sustainability initiative called Align a little bit more, which is so great. And I just love, that this is something that you guys are making as a big part of your overall new initiatives and company. Can you tell us a little bit more about the program and, how is it being embraced by designers and architects using your products?
Yes. Well, so, Align for us really just means how do we capture and quantify all of the efforts we're making to achieve these green labels. And it started a few years ago when we were asked to figure out a Red List Free ingredient. And we started to look into it, and we realized we actually have a fairly clean set of ingredients, which was really exciting to learn that you can start to understand at this fundamental level what goes into products. And that's where these labels come in. They're really transparency labels. And so we try to figure out where we fit in that world. And there's so many labels, as people probably are finding out, that we're navigating this at the same time. But if we can take all of this and start putting it under the umbrella of what we're calling Align, which is our own company branding. It starts to say everything that fits into this program, we've thought about in a way, whether it has a red list free label or a EPD or qualifies under some of the LEED programs, whatever it might be, we can start to now organize this, because I think it's a really important message that we're getting asked a lot, and the design community is interested in a lot. And there really is a future platform for a lot of wonderful new products to be thought about through.
Right. And I think it's going to mean a lot more, especially what we've all gone through the past, let's just call it a year now because it's almost there. But,
Yes.
Post-COVID, I think it's going to even mean more. Do you agree?
Yeah, that's an interesting point, because I think personally a lot about what those changes are. I mean, we all are trying to figure this out. We're in this sort of, windy storm, I think, still at the moment. But the things that stand out are things that are sort of comfortable, right? I mean, you can sort of just step back in your own experience and say, well, if I feel comfortable, I feel good. I'm excited about a story, whatever it is, those things that kind of trigger your own personal sort of emotions, you can apply those to design as well and sort of say, well, if I want to feel safe in a space, I want to feel comfortable.
Right.
People are obviously having a bit more space around them now. So all of these things, I think, start to become meaningful ways that we're interacting, hopefully will be meaningful in the future. And I think sustainability is part of that. Now, these were always traits that were probably part of the design thinking, but now you start really focusing them and saying, now what matters? Sustainability and products that have these kind of deeper meanings now rise above all of that, because they are kind of worth talking about still. And they now have a much different meaning than they did a year ago. A year ago, they might have just been checking a box. Now people are, I think, saying, well, no, actually I'm picking this for a very specific reason, because I have this very specific thing I want to do, and it means something and it's special.
Right. I think, yes, I totally agree. We were talking about it this morning, a more thoughtful approach to design and a more meaning behind, what goes into every piece and every project. So totally agree. And you guys marry architecture, sculpture, and lighting, which you make it seem easier than it is. Can you talk a little bit about, the artistry that goes into executing what you all do and the process behind it?
Yeah, well, we, as some people may know or seen us over the years, we've started with just doing really big things. And it's a little bit of my background as well, and just understanding architecture from that sort of building scale. And there's also been this sort of hole, I think, in the lighting world, where these bigger things just didn't quite fit. And so we fell into that. And it's been fun to think about the material and how you can take this material and, kind of make and transform it into beautiful shapes and colors. And so we have a great team here that helps us with that in the Seattle studio, as I mentioned in the video, as well as in our Salt Lake City facility. And we're able to manufacture, all sorts of shapes with this kind of unlimited material platform in a way. And that's really, and I mentioned that also in the video, what's special about what we do is this material at the end of the day. We can colorize it, we can do all these things to it, but also we have to think about what we can do with the material at the end of the use, which is why we're starting to say, can we reuse this material? Can we re-grind it, as you saw, or can we take the material back at the end of the life of a job and literally do the same thing with it? And I think that's really important to have that whole process of that life cycle thought into, or that thinking put into what we're doing here. So we're pretty excited about where that can go.
No, you can see it. And I love how, how passionate you and the team are about just finding new ways to innovate. And so how important is it in hiring, and how have you kept everyone motivated moving through the last few months? And, and what are you looking forward to in the future?
Oh boy. Well, that is always a hard thing, every day is sort of a challenge these days. But I think at the end of the day, we all are in this field because we're motivated by design. We're motivated by beautiful things. We're motivated by purpose and stories. And if we're all participating, whether, we're doing different parts of whatever the business is, you want to see that end result. You want to see someone happy about receiving something great. You want to enjoy, you want to have a good experience, whatever it is along the way. And that to me is what drives me as well. I sort of think about, it's hard now, but if we look out ahead 6 months or a year from now, what are those beautiful things we can make? I mean, can we do something else with this material that we haven't thought about? And what can we achieve that is going to be that kind of light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak? And so putting those markers out there, just visually, design-wise, I think helps us just all focus on that versus just getting caught up, I think, in the kind of hard part right now. And because, I mean, we're always going to be solving problems in the design environment. It's not going away. It's changing. It's changing a lot right now. But people are still going to have a need to sort of solve new problems. And how do we become, part of that solution? And that, to me, that fundamental like challenge is the most exciting part of design anyway. So I think that's where we find our path and where we start pointing to the future.
Well, that's so perfect, and I love that. Thank you so much, Ryan. It was such a pleasure to catch up with you today, and could talk for much longer, but we have to be conscious of time, so really
Yes.
appreciate it. For all of you listening out there, you can see more at lightart.com and on Instagram at lightartseattle. So we're taking a short break, and we'll see you back here at 1:15 p.m. Eastern Time for our Trends conversation with Lutron and Clever. For those watching us virtually, which is all of you, there's a couple of people here, but you need to log back on using the details from your registration email. Simply click the entry portal link and enter the email address you used while registering. You will use the same link to join online sessions, and you may log in to attend live sessions up to 10 minutes before their starting time. For more details or to view the schedule of events, go to closeup.com. CLOSEUP.design. I had memorized that and messed it up. But enjoy the break and log back on at 1:15 p.m. Eastern, and we'll see you then.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ryan.